Yeah, hi dear friends, this is Bob Hatton. This is The Encourager. I am so excited that you've joined me today for another edition of our Encourager. We're looking in the book of Deuteronomy, this fifth book of Moses, and trying to make sense out of it. I think it's very, very interesting, and it's also very encouraging. We started to talk about the different languages of love, of the different languages of the love of God. And we talked about trust, and we talked about obedience. And today, my third language of the love of God is family life. Let me just read something to you out of this book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11 and verse 19. So chapter 11 and verse 19 from the book of Deuteronomy. And it says here, "You shall teach them to your children." Them, that is the things that God has been speaking about. That is His rules and regulations, but also the good things that God has got for them. Teach them to your children. Talking of them when you are sitting in your house, and when you're walking by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. We're told here we've got to share our life with our children. And you know something, in these days, we are really under an attack as far as family life is concerned. There is something in the world, there's something about the society in which we live in Western Europe that is trying to undermine all the aspects of Christian family. They're taking away our children. The society takes away our children when they're very, very young and puts them in the care of strangers. These strangers are probably doing the best and trying to, help as much as they can, but they're not family. And this is the thing. It's up to family to invest in family. If you don't do that, the people look at you and think, oh, you're very backward or something. We notice here there's quite a lot of pressure on families to fall into the way that everybody else thinks we should be doing things. So I read something recently where it says don't complain and don't start to criticize unless you can offer a solution for some kind of problem or situation. So my solution is, and that which I want to appeal to you today after we've read that word, is mum, dad, invest in your children. Make a great investment. Have time for them. And I know that we don't have as much time as we used to because there's a lot of pressure on people in the various professions that they're doing. But find as much time as you can to invest in your children, to talk to them, to share life with them, to tell them about God. And as we read through the book of Deuteronomy, we see there's such a lot of stuff is written there about family life. And the thing that really is disturbing is that when you don't do it, or if you do it wrong, or you do things you're not supposed to do, as far as family is concerned, there are terrible punishments awaiting us. And that is quite frightening. Now, we've got to remember that this book, this law, the Old Testament, it was written to show us that there's no way how we are going to fulfill this law. There's no way how we are going to be able to obey it because we are too weak, because we are egoistic in our basic way that we live. We are looking out for ourselves first of all, and even if we are really trying to work against that, we keep falling back, and nobody is perfect. But you see, the thing that God requires of us is perfection. And this law, when we read all the things we're supposed to be doing, it actually only shows us that we are weak and that we are not able, and it condemns us. And actually then this law, which is good, it becomes a curse to us. Now there's a wonderful word in the book of Galatians and chapter 3, and it says that Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse himself for us, because as it's written, cursed is he who hangs on a tree. Now, what does that mean? That means that Jesus was the only one who kept this law. He was the perfect person, and we killed him. He was punished. He died on the cross, and the Bible says he became a curse for us. That's also in the book of Deuteronomy, because it says, "Cursed is everyone who hangs on the tree." And you know, sometimes people will say, if somebody's done a terrible crime and he's condemned to death, and the execution takes place, and we say, or some people would say, dying is actually, it's not enough. Well, that's what the people were, what the law is saying. Dying is not enough, so let him hang on the tree for a while, and he is accursed. Accursed is everyone on the tree, and that is what happened to Jesus. They nailed him onto this cross. They nailed him onto the wood, onto the tree, and he stayed there dead, and he was made to be a curse for us, so that he can redeem us from the curse of the law. Now, I'm telling you, invest in your children, invest in your marriages, invest in your family, share life with your children. Tell them about the things that God has said. Tell them about the things that God has done and what he's also done in your life. Share with them when you have problems in your family, when challenges come. Pray with them and see what God does, and they will become very strong Christians, and they'll be strong people for God. Now, we do make mistakes, and we don't always, keep our on. We don't always, we sometimes get angry when we shouldn't be, and so on and so forth. We are weak, we are condemned, but we have grace. We have grace to apologize. We have grace to get forgiveness from God. We have grace to move on. So be encouraged in this. Know that God has given his life for us. Jesus died on the cross for us so that we can express this new language of love. Family life. Family is very important. It's something that is created by God. Hey, I'm going to leave you with that, because you've got a lot to do today if you're going to follow that. So be blessed, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. God bless you. You're Bob Hatton, your encourager.